Hello and welcome to the number one podcast, the perfectly imperfect podcast focused on progress towards living a fulfilling life. We are your hosts. My name is Michael Lum.
I'm Eric Lum,
My name is Judy Lay.
and today we have a very special guest. Ryan Condon is a friend of ours who we just met through the Tony Robbins world. He is a senior leader with Tony Robbins, and he's also a peak performance coach who helps high-achieving men master emotional leadership, reignite passion, and create unshakable confidence, both in their relationships and in life. After overcoming years of addiction, Ryan didn't just recover, he transformed. Now he's on a mission to help others do the same. Through a blend of behavioral psychology, personal growth, and lived experience, Ryan works with men who are successful on the outside but quietly struggling with disconnection, stress, or relationship breakdowns. He helps them reconnect with their power, lead with purpose, and perform at their highest level, not just in business, but in love, leadership, and legacy. Ryan's belief is simple: peak performance begins within. When you lead yourself well, everything else rises with you. So we are very grateful for you to be on our podcast, and we're excited to have this conversation with you. Um, so, anything else you would like to share about yourself? Kind of give us a background of your story.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much. I just want to honor all three of you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And I never thought that I would come this far to be able to talk about it, to be honest. So I just want to show you my appreciation. But yeah, I'll start from the beginning. I know we only have a certain amount of time here, so I'll try to be as fast as I can. So I would say when I was about 3 years ago, I was working in health insurance, and I was creating a lot of income for myself. I just felt like that the success in my bank account wasn't internally in my body and in my head. And the more I worked, I kept getting higher and higher on the status as far as like a title goes, right? And I just felt empty inside and I didn't know why. And I worked at home. So I was in sales. And as long as I met goals for the month, I could do whatever I wanted and I could travel all over the world. And that's what I did. I kept finding myself, though, successful on the outside, like Facebook success, but not internally. And so I started to really drink alcohol and started with just after work, like happy hours. And then it was hours led to, well, I'll stop on the way home and then I'll drink there, which then led to inviting the neighbors over at night, which then led to the morning after, starting when I woke up. Now, I was a functional addict then. I was still getting things done. I was just coping with alcohol because I wasn't fulfilled on the inside, right?
Yeah.
And so it kept getting progressively worse and worse. And there was a defining moment, and I want to kind of condense all of this for you. There was a defining moment that really led me to change, but I would say that there was one in particular night that I was working in health insurance, and I remember driving home inebriated, and I remember thinking I forgot my phone.
Mm.
And so I drove back and I was on the phone with the bartender asking where my phone was.
Wow.
And it hit me when I walked in. The bartender's like, "You're on your phone." And so then I was like, all right, something's got to change. And so that's really when it kept happening where I was embarrassing myself, my relationship, my friends, my bank account, and it just kept stacking. And so I know that's a very quick version of it, but what I'm saying is that I almost died because of everything that I was doing in the past, but now it's transformed me to help others. And so when I really stepped away from the corporate life recently, that's when I entered the new world and helping others. So let me stop there. I want to kind of see if you have any full questions, because I know that was somewhat fast, but I wanted to kind of give you a raw and real personal story of kind of why I'm here now. So
Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to know, like, so that was the defining moment where you realized, like, okay, I gotta do something. Like, what actually made you commit, or what was the thing that helped you overcome the addiction?
the thing that made me overcome the actual addiction is whenever I went to unleash the power within and Tony's course that I'll never forget. He was on stage, and I remember thinking, I've got to do something now. And when he told me the quote and it was like a light bulb switch in my brain that I identified as a drinker from my job, but I also connected with others. So as he speaks about, we have 7 human needs, and connection and love was one of them. I felt like I wasn't getting that at home, so I would get that at bars or places that I could actually drink. But when Tony said at that event, and it was UPW, and he said, "The strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves." I was like, it was like a light bulb saying, I've identified myself in certain ways that has caused me to drink even more because I'm a big connector in sales, and I would find ways to go and speak to others, but I could drink around that. So it was basically your identity shapes everything of who you are, of what you do, of how you act. And really it's identity that shapes everything. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, it really does.
So how long have you been in the Tony Robbins world?
Started in 2020. So I was actually I'm from New Orleans. I used to live in Chicago, and when I was there for work, it all kind of started then. And so I started in the Tony world as a just as a paying client, and then I did every event. I was hooked. And then I started to crew where you can help out with the events if you've attended all of the events. And then a trainer asked me to apply to become a senior leader. So I was like, I just enjoyed a crew, right? But I was like, if you, that's an honor to be asked. So I applied, and then I think they go through a big approval process. And I know that they don't just approve anyone. It's very much of a, are you do you act in ways that you're meant to be here, right? And so really like Tony Robbins what has been a mentor of mine more so than anyone in my life as far as like even my own parents. I love my parents. It's just I grew up in a very challenging household. So I felt like I needed a masculine figure in my life to guide me or direct me to the way to go in life because I felt like I was lost. So it's been about 2020, so it's been about 5 years now.
A very similar story to me and Eric. Eric and I.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started in 2022, and all because of
COVID.
addiction.
Oh, which kind? If you don't mind me asking.
Uh, Multiple, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, it was a complete transformation. Yeah. But
Yeah.
w- it sounds a little simplified. Can you give us a clearer picture of, like, how was it like in the struggle with addiction, and then, like, was it just that one shift of your identity that helped you get rid of it, and then, like, what is life like after you got free of it? How long were you in the addiction?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It was about 3 years where it was just a pattern of drinking incessantly, and I will tell you, it was so much drinking, guys, to the point where, like, I could have, like, 8 or 9 beers before lunch and not even be that drunk. And I was functioning. I was answering emails on my phone. I was creating meetings for the future. It wasn't like I wasn't doing anything all day, but I would be doing it from a bar, or I'd be doing it from a place that I could drink while doing it, or I would be in Fiji drinking and answering emails, or wherever I wanted to in the world. And so, but it got to a point where it was taking over my intimate relationship with my girlfriend who has stuck with me through all of that now that I'm sober. I think it was credit card debt. It was being really mean and not knowing when to actually stop putting it down. Like put down the bottle and really just like have a purpose and mission in life. And I think the turning point was, Tony always says that the quality of our life is the quality of our relationships. I feel like the identity is what made my lasting change. Because some people can change like for a day or two, or a week or two, or a month or two. But I'm talking about lasting change. The only way that you will have lasting change is if you change your identity. So someone like after this, if I went to a lunch with a client and they asked, "Would you like a beer?" I'm not going to say, "What kind is it?" I'm going to say, "I'm not a drinker," because it was a identity shift that changed everything permanently. What really changed me to start down this path and say, okay, I've got a big problem and big challenge is that a lot of pain in my life in so many different areas, like finances, relationships, work, like being mean to people, waking up with hangovers. Like it was just, and it was every single day. And it stacked and stacked and stacked. And I remember the defining moment was Mardi Gras, about a year ago. I remember waking up and not knowing what I did or what I said. And I remember my girlfriend waking up and crying. And she said, If you don't stop, like you can do whatever you want. I can't do this anymore." And it was that like leverage moment. It was that threshold of like, the truth will set me free. I've got to be honest with myself and say that this is a challenge. This is a problem, and stop blaming other people except for me. So
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I think, and I hope I'm being very open about things that I don't really share with anybody else. But I feel like me sharing these things will help other people realize that your past doesn't equal the future. I mean, unless you live there, if you're driving in a car and you keep looking in the rear view, you're going to crash. So you've got to focus on where you want to go instead of where you actually are, and not what you don't want, because unconsciously if you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get back there. So, but Tony Robbins is the biggest mentor that helped me shift everything along. I'll give you one book too that really helped me, and I hope that all three of you and other people that hear this will actually buy. And it's a book called The Naked Mind by Annie Grace. And she talks about her relationship with alcohol that truly is unbelievable and helped me too.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Of course. I've had a relationship with alcohol for many years, since I was 15, and I struggled with it for quite some time. I feel like I have it under control where I don't depend on it anymore. I was dependent on it for a long time. So I appreciate that you got past that and are now sober. See, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm not sober, but I have it under control. So I feel like that's a difference in, I guess everybody has a different threshold of ability to stay away from it, or have to stay completely sober and versus having it under control. That's something that's
It's
Yeah.
kind of like a social drinking kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's the key, right? I mean, it's like Judy, and I just want to make a quick point. So my issue was that I was either all in or all out, and I didn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
And it was like the only time I would stop is if I blacked out. Like I would wake up or pass out on the couch at night after dinner, and the next morning I would have wine or something on my bedside table, or that spilled on me because I was holding it as I fell asleep. And so it was getting to a point where it was clearly a problem. I didn't want to admit it was a problem because it deflates my ego. Right. I'm not against, and I just want you to know this. I help people now all over the world if they want help. I'm not a person who judges, "Oh, you drink, that's not good." Or I don't judge. It was the right choice for me because I noticed in every area of my life, people can do what they want, and I respect that. And you can never influence anyone if you're judging them, right? So I don't have any issues with people who do. For me, though, I just know that I had trouble stopping, and it was affecting so many different things. And it was the focal point of of my days, which was, looking back on it, the amount of time. I'm still pretty young, but the amount of time that I wasted on that, right?
Yeah, I was never really addicted to any substances or anything. Like if I ever tried anything, I would just be like, cool, I did it and I tried it. However, what you mentioned about how you identify yourself, it really resonated with me because I do sometimes still live in my past, and it really affects sometimes my daily moments too. Cause like I also live in a household where when I did Tony Robbins with Eric, um, I do realize so many things that are about me that I've never really focused on because a lot of times I just like move on with my day and I'm kind of one of those people who just like move on and I just want to get things done and then I just don't want to focus on anything else because I'm just like a doer. And then like in my household it was very kind of similar. Like I craved like the love and connection the most. So like I didn't really get that until I was like really recently. And during COVID, it was difficult because we all needed the love and connection too because we were all away from our family, and my parents actually got COVID very, very early too, when there was no vaccine and all that. And that's when I learned the most was during COVID and during Tony Robbins events too, through our struggles. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that too, and it's amazing how when you're going through what seems like hell,
Yeah.
first off, you find out how strong you really are.
Oh yeah, you do.
And then the second thing is when you're going through these types of pains is like you find out who your real friends are, not your Facebook friends.
100%.
And to me though, like our past is it's like, Tony always says that the biggest problems is we think we shouldn't have any. The problems make us grow. Problems are a sign of life. Problems sculpt our soul. And so if you don't have any, get on your knees and beg for some because the only people who don't have any problems are in the grave. And so like what I was so embarrassed about, I'm really glad that I now looking back at it, I'm so glad I went through it because like I can't emphasize enough how strong that I am to where like it's not that I don't have fear, I just don't let it stop me. And now, like, even sharing these things is I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, like, should I even do this? And I'm thinking to myself, well, is it gonna make me grow? And I'm like, yes. Is it gonna help other people? Yes. And I was like, okay. So me not wanting to is focused on me being selfish. And I was like, okay, get past all of that, help other people, be open, be honest, share something that can inspire other people because if I can go through it and essentially I could have died multiple times just driving around. If I've made it through all of this, so many other people can. And I feel like we've got so much hate in the world, and social media has done that, right? Where we judge others. And you'll have more critics and fans than ever because of that. I think being vulnerable, though, is very powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're vulnerable, it allows other people to be vulnerable. I definitely learned that as well. When you share something about yourself and about your struggles or whatever it may be, it allows people to share what they're going through as well.
Yeah, I think you're more relatable when you have your own struggles because it's like we live in this, like I said, this world where we put filters on our pictures on social to make our life look better than what it really is. It's such a significant culture that whenever you open up and say, "Yeah, this is what I went through, but now I'm a force of nature and I'm helping people all over the entire world, and this is what I'm built for and made for." And you can call it God or grace or the universe, but there's a higher power, I think, that purposely did that for me to help other people. And so now I'm like, the greatest pain was actually a gift to give back and to help other people. And you can't believe, guys, how many, like, after this, I wanted to stay longer. I've got a client who crossed the entire world that is struggling. Won't say what type of addiction, but one of the worst ones. And there's only so many patterns that we do And once you notice the pattern, I know what to do because of Tony's work and being in the SL role and being into leadership roles where I attend every single event now. I've done them all many of times. It's like I because I've done this so much, I know the patterns, and so I can help people. And if, with enough leverage, I can help anyone. So I'm loving what I'm doing now. The only regret is not doing it sooner.
No regrets, man.
Everything happens
Everything happens for
exactly how it's supposed to.
for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never used to believe that, but I really feel like that is the truth now. Like how Tommy says, life happens for us, not to us.
And it's such a powerful mindset shift. Like it's such a and that's one thing that I want all of your listeners to really just not understand but execute on. Like whenever you really believe in your heart and in your soul that no matter what happens, there's a gift in it, and that nothing is failure unless you learn and take action. And it's only painful if you let it be. But like pain is a part of life, suffering is an option. But like every single pain point in someone's life, there's something that you can take from it to make you better or stronger or faster or grow. And so to me, like I live my life with hardly any fear at all, because it's like, oh, okay, well, there's a hole in the roof. Awesome. Well, what can I learn? My car has something wrong with the engine. Okay, great. Like it's a total mindset shift on how you think about life, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, totally. You no longer fear anything going wrong. You're like, okay, what's the lesson? What how
Yeah, it's more of a like stop. And for me, like I used to be in scarcity all the time. Like I used to just be so scarce with everything instead of like life is happening for me, not to me. Live in abundance and live your life to the fullest and stop being so scared all the time. And that's how I was for so long now. Do you know what I mean?
Totally, totally understand.
Yeah, exactly the same, man.
Yeah, when you look backwards into your life and you look at how things worked out for you, you always kind of see things that looking backwards, it was all for you. It was all something to learn from, something that you can grow from, and all those experiences help you make you who you are.
Yeah.
Right, if you're open, you can learn from anything and anybody around you. Yeah.
All the
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So for people who are in the depth of the addiction and feel stuck and feel like they can't change and they can't get out, what advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing I would say is, that success is 80% psychology. And so if you're in a poor state, and state is your overall well-being, the fastest way to change how you feel is how you actually move. So whether it's a power move with your breath or saying yes, 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 or going for a run or going for a walk or doing something to move your body or your breath, or turn on some music. The fastest way to change how you feel is to move your body or do something to change your state, because you'll never make a change if you're in a low energy state. So once you change that, then it's what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the past or the future, or what you can do now? Because whatever happened in the past is irrelevant. You can learn from the past, and most people focus on the future too. But if you focus on what can I do now, to say, okay, well, where focus goes, your energy flows, right? As we always hear. And so that would be the second thing. And then the third thing is, what meaning are you giving to your life? Like we just spoke about this, but it's like, what if your worst days became your best days? What if like everyone thinks, oh, well, it's too late or it's all this. It's never too late, but you got to give it a empowering meaning that what if all of this was a gift in life, and people, you were supposed to go through this for a higher purpose in life. There's an old saying that God's delays are not God's denials. And it's important to really just focus on that and understand that I think for sure with enough leverage whatever that may mean to the person, you can change anything. If you have enough leverage on something or someone, you can do whatever. It's all honestly the psychology of the person.
I have a personal question.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
I've had a calling for a long time to also step up and try to make a difference for other people who are struggling with addiction and want to create a better life for themselves, go after what they truly want in life. And uh, I'm just curious, like, what is your advice in what helped you make that jump and go all in on coaching and stuff?
Oh, man, that's a great question, and we can talk offline too. And I'll say this, that I won't tell you how much I was making. I was earning a ton of money in the corporate life, and like a lot. And I got to a point where I went from that to nothing, but I volunteered that. I quit and just said, I can't. If you're not enjoying life, it's the ultimate failure because we only have one shot at this thing. And when you come from the place I live, Tony Robbins' work, where he says, if you are serious, you got to make a decision in the sand and burn your boats. And if you burn your boats and there's no way to get back, you'll find the way or make the way. But if you're still in like, oh, I don't know, I want this, I want that, you want comfort, but you also want to help others. But you got to start from zero. For me, I was like, okay, I know I can help others because I've lived it and I've gone through it. I also know that life happens for me, not to me, so I don't have as much fear. And I work extremely hard every day. And someone asked me the other day, it was Saturday, and they go, Ryan, I don't understand how you're able to quit from a corporate role to do what you do now all over the entire world, and you work so hard. And I say, well, I don't focus about me. I focus on them. That's the biggest thing. Like I try to add more value and serve, and I don't worry about me. I just want to help as many people as I can. And the guy was like, I know you work so hard. It's amazing. And I said, what's one tip that would help me and other people? And I said, the honest truth is I demand more from myself than anyone could possibly expect. And I truly just want to serve and help other people. And I feel like when we get outside of ourselves and realize that there's so much pain and suffering, that to me, like when you're growing, you feel amazing. But when you're giving your time and you're giving your labor and your energy and your wisdom to help other people who are suffering and don't realize they're living a life capable of less than what they can be or share or do or give. It's like, for me, it was getting outside of me and my comfort and the money and everything that the culture has taught us. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Changing from a selfish nature to focusing on other people and helping other people. I feel like that.
That's it. That's it. The biggest difference is like getting away from me to something bigger than ourselves. And it could be whatever that is to the person. It's just getting outside of us and making it about other people. Whatever that means to the person will really change your life. Because there's nothing wrong with focusing on yourself, but there's only so much joy that you can get out of yourself. And it's like when you're transforming others, it's like I go to sleep every single night and I'm like so happy all the so much of the time because I feel like my my dark days where I didn't want to live anymore is now transforming people every single day. And like I said earlier, I wanted to do this for 2 hours. I've got clients that I want to help too. So, and I just know that so many people are suffering in the world. And like, I don't know if you saw, I'll send you this after, the stats on addictions now with fentanyl and heroin and alcohol and opioids, and it just goes on and on. And it's just like, there's so many people that need my help now. You know what I mean? So, um, the only thing I would say too is that, um, for everyone hearing this, is that the only regret I have is not doing this sooner. Is just not helping people even more. So
In the beginning, when you started helping more people, did you ever feel overwhelmed? And then when you felt that way, how did you push through that?
Overwhelmed in
In the sense of
terms of,
when you started like transitioning from like me to serving others, was there any point in in between that you felt like, oh, this is a lot to take on? And then if you did, how did you push through?
no, actually, I never felt that it was a lot because I feel like I said earlier, I feel like once I got outside of myself and like I think you can transform people without what should I do or what should I say. Like if you give someone presence and you see them and you feel them and you hear them and you're focused on them and you truly show look at an understanding of who they are and you appreciate and connect and understand them, it made my life fulfilled because I felt like, wow, these beautiful people have all these gifts and they're thinking that they can't change. If we get enough leverage and put enough pain to their past, but enough pleasure to the future, and I get to understand them more. I can help these people. So no, I mean, I never felt overwhelmed only because I feel like I've been through it, and I know like the feeling of being trapped and like it's you don't know what to do or who to talk to about it either because you're embarrassed, right?
I feel like I get overwhelmed easily, so I wanted to and see your take on it.
Oh,
I guess I'm
thank you for
still,
asking.
working on myself part.
Well, that's the whole thing though too, and I want you to know this too. I have a coach as well. Like I feel like no matter how how long that you're sober, if you want to be sober, like I will want to be, but if you want to drink, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just for me, I didn't know when to stop. So, I there wasn't like a one drink only thing. So, lost my train of thought. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's all about no matter how like even Tony himself, right? We were speaking about him. I believe he has three different coaches. I know so no matter how great that you are, no matter how much progress that you have, there's always another level in life. So every single day I have a coach and we talk one time a week and I'm always wanting to grow in some way. So yes, I'm sober. Yes, I'm truly happy. Yes, but I'm still human, right? There are still things that happen. There are still moments and times where I get frustrated about things, but at the same time, it's like, I don't stay there. I don't stay in this suffering state. I know what to do to snap out of it. So,
All right. Well, I know you have to go soon. Any last remarks and any how would someone contact you if they wanted to get in touch with you to get help or whatever they need?
yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I guess the final remarks would be you have a gift in yourself. Everyone does. And don't let the outside environment or people who talk you out of it or anything that you read on social distract you from what you're called for in life. And we only have one shot at this thing called life. And so what I would encourage you is that I'm an example of what's possible coming from almost deaf to what I do now. I would say that there's so many beautiful souls in this world that need help, that your past does not equal your future in life. And I'm happy to help any way I can, even if it's free. I really just obviously I do charge, but at the same time, I want to help people with the resources out there as well. And my life is here to serve others. So you can get in touch with me on Facebook. If you look up Ryan Condon, Condon. If you want to send me a direct message there, I'm happy to do it. Eric, I didn't want to share my phone number, but I'm happy to answer that. I will answer it very fast, and I have a team that will answer you too. So if you need any help, I'm happy to help anytime. If you look up Ryan Condon on my work, it's going to say Ryan Condon's results coaching. So I'm happy to help you any way I can. make your life a masterpiece. I trust in you. I'll do anything I can to help you. And like I said, it's this is not your journey hasn't even started yet. This is anything that you're going through can be changed. But it's all in how you think about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to talking to you again in the longer version of your story as well, because we like.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, guys, and look, I just want you to, all three to know, it's been an honor to be here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined me being here, and just to take the fact that you trusted me on here and gave me your time to help other people and inspire others really means a ton to me. So thank you. I honor you. I respect you. And have an awesome week. And we will talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Bye-bye.